Welcome back to the Rough Example 510 project. I got a few updates for you this weekend. I've been pretty busy. I haven't had a whole lot of chance to work on it today, but I have been out here chipping away at the wiring all week. So let me show you what I've been up to. Um, so it's kind of just a big mess right now. It looks crazy, but I actually do feel like I know what's going on. Um, I ended up buying this fuse block or relay block, um, which is this right here. I think I paid like $30 for this on Amazon, and this is just a nice clean way to run relays. So I've got my cooling fan, high beams, low beams, horn, and fuel pump on there. And I'll have an extra relay for whatever else I want to run. Um, but it's kind of nice. You just plug in all of your signal wires into here, and then the output comes out of this end. Um, so I chose to do that just to keep it clean, and that is gonna. I put Velcro on the back. You can kind of see there; it's covered in Velcro, and this is just gonna stick onto the bottom of the dashboard. Um, so I've never done wiring before. This is my first time doing a universal harness, and it's definitely, it has kind of a steep learning curve, but I've been having fun with it. Like, it's kind of just like a giant puzzle, and it's really frustrating. But every time you figure out, you know, one more wire or figure out one more problem, it's really rewarding. So, like, I've just been super happy with doing this week. Like, I found that I kind of ruminate on it like all day at work. I'm just thinking like, oh man, like I think maybe I figured out where that wire is supposed to go, and then I'll come out after work and hook it up, and I'm like, yes, it works. So um, basically, I would say like my advice on doing one of these is just try not to tackle everything at once. Just start with one wire, figure out what it hooks up to, um, and then just kind of keep doing that until you get stuck. And sometimes I'll just take a break. Like, I could not figure out how to wire up the hazard switch, so I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna just take a break and do tail lights, or I'm gonna work on the reverse switch, which is this. So basically, I've just kept doing that until where I've only got a few wires left now. Like, just a few minutes ago, I was working on doing this hazard switch right here. Um, like when you pull this, it flashes all four of the um, turn signal lights at the same time. You can kind of hear the relay going there. But yeah, there's a pretty good amount of wires going in and out of this thing. And I also figured out the turn signals. For those you have to have the car turned on, but finally, figured out how to work this. Next problem will be trying to do the high beam dimmer switch, which I haven't been able to figure out quite yet. So that's the next problem that I need to solve. But yeah, every time I get one of these figured out, it's kind of fun. But just kind of using a process of elimination to whittle it down. Um, so, you know, I'm sure your electrical specialists are going to see this, that I'm using wire nuts, and freak out. Don't worry, I am not leaving it that way. I'm just using them temporarily to figure out how everything is supposed to go, and then once I have it all figured out, then I'm gonna take the harness back out of the car, wrap it in the like the fiberglass loom insulation stuff, tape it up, make it look really clean. But for now, I'm just kind of mocking it up. Um, so if you don't have a test light, you're definitely going to need one of these. Just this has been a lifesaver trying to diagnose stuff. If you don't know how to use one, you just put it on the ground somewhere, and then you can connect it to the hot terminals. You know, anytime you hit 12 volt, it's going to light up. And this is how I've been figuring out where a lot of these wires go, combined with the factory wiring diagrams, which can be a little bit frustrating because when you're using the universal harness like this, I kept finding myself trying to like take what I would see in the factory wiring diagram and then like apply that to the universal one, but it doesn't quite work that way. You know, like I think you kind of have to just do one or the other, and then use that factory diagram to just kind of help as a guideline of where things are generally supposed to go. But I don't know. That's probably makes no sense. But yeah, just let it be a tool, but don't feel like you have to follow it too closely because it can actually just kind of mess you up and frustrate you. So anyway, that's that. I got my radio. Um, this is what I'm doing for the audio setup. It's a 500 watt Bluetooth amp. Um, so this is going to go under the seat. That's why I've got the seat taken out. It'll just kind of bolt right here, so it's nice and hidden. And you can just Bluetooth straight from your phone to it, and then it also has a little remote that you can mount somewhere. You know, if you wanted to put that into your dashboard or something, you could. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I might just kind of hide it between the seats. You don't have to use this remote. You can just control everything from your phone as well. But yeah, I mean, it doesn't put out like a massive amount of power, but I think for what I'm doing with this car is going to be sufficient. Like I just want to be able to listen to some music. I'm not trying to run a subwoofer or win an audio contest or something. So that's going to go right there. And I also have a couple of pieces that my brother made for me out of aluminum with his CNC plasma cutter. This one right here is for the center console. Like for the shifter boot. So basically, this is just going to go like that. And we put a little angle into it so it'll kind of wrap around. And I'm just going to sew a leather shift boot that'll go on here. So that's what that piece is. And then this is my air ride tray that we made up. So I can kind of show you what it's going to do. I haven't even looked at this yet to see if it fits, but the idea is that this is going to hook onto the factory spare tire mount. So this is the spare tire bracket. This is going to go through here and will screw into that. So we can give it a shot really quick and see if it's going to fit. Let me turn this on. See if that helps. So yeah, this post right here is where it's going to mount onto. This might be a little bit tight, but so I think this is, yeah, just to just kind of sit like that. So the tank will bolt on there. This will actually go under the tank. So let me pull the tank back out and swap that really quick if I can. Yeah, so basically it'll go in like that, and the tank will mount onto there. And this will go onto here. So that will just screw in, or you could use a bolt or whatever. And then the compressor will go in this spot here. Definitely kind of hard to do with it like halfway installed here, but that's the idea. So that it is tight down against the floor, and you can still remove it really quickly. And if anybody's interested in buying one of these brackets, we have the CAD files for it, and we can cut out another one for you, and finish it out however you want. So definitely hit me up if you're interested in bagging your 510. So yeah, that looks like it's gonna work nicely. Once I get that in there, I'm gonna build a new masonite piece that'll go in here, and I'll also build a masonite piece that goes vertical, because that's how the stock ones are. It's like a vertical piece, and then there's a plastic tray that kind of goes in with the fuel tank. Yeah, I've got the air ride hooked up. It's working well. So I just need to get onto this bracket and kind of button it up, One mistake that I made when I set this up on my tail light wiring is in the harness they're calling it the third brake light wire, which is this orange one, and they didn't have great instructions about how it works. So basically I ended up having to add this afterwards, and that's why it's loose and not tied in with my harness, because it should come out right here with the rest of the wires. So I'll probably have to redo this so that this wire can tuck into the harness. But make sure that you've got, I think it's 4 wires coming in, because you've got your reverse light, your turn signal, brake light, and then your just the running light. So there should be 4 wires. I know there's other ways to do it, but I think if you could put like a resistor or a capacitor or something in there, there's some way to make it share the wire. But anyway, that just make sure that you run that third brake light wire correctly, because I think in the instructions it tells you that you don't need it, but you actually do. So I also, when you're doing the wiring, one thing that's helpful is this is not a painless brand harness. It's just a cheap knockoff that I bought, but the painless instructions are pretty good. So I just printed out the entire 120 page manual, and went through it and made some notes, and that definitely helps. Especially at the end, there's a list of each wire, what color it is, what gauge it is, where it goes to, and where it comes from. So that's definitely a lifesaver. But you can download that for free online and just print the PDF. So, see what else I've got. For the wiring under the hood, I'm still kind of working through that a little bit, but I've got to run the universal harness, you've got most of your power comes off of your starter post through this red wire, and that runs back into the car. And then the alternator, I haven't really wired up yet. This is how it was previously wired, through this big, I think that's 6 or 8 gauge wire. And then they give you these 2 wires that hook into these pins. This is not a 1-wire alternator. I think it takes 3 wires. So one of these is the alternator exciter wire, is how it's labeled on the harness. So that'll go to one post, and then this one here goes back to the battery. So that'll probably go onto that same post. So I need to get that totally figured out. I haven't dug into that one quite yet, but I'm a little ways off from needing an alternator, so I'll cross that bridge a little bit later. I did take the ITBs off. They're just chilling right here because they were interfering with the hood. So I need to figure out if I can kind of cut these couplers at an angle and have it level out, or if I'm going to need to do a pie cut on the metal itself to get that angle. But I need to get that sorted out before I'll be able to start the engine up. Then also this bracket here, this is from Excessive Racing. You basically, what this allows you to do is just to run like a single belt on the entire system. Normally your AC would go right here, like your AC compressor, but since I'm not running that, you have to have something here to put tension on the belt. Somehow the previous owner had actually run a single belt on here that I'm guessing he just pried it on with a screwdriver, but I don't know how he did it, honestly. So I'm going to try and do it the right way and use this bracket. I did have to order a pulley for it because the kit doesn't come with a pulley, because they're assuming that you would have an AC bracket or an AC compressor. So this is the new pulley that's going to go on there. And I think it's a S14 240SX/Sylvia part. So that'll just go on there, and this screw just lets you adjust the tension. So I'll be able to get my belt on there soon. And then these I ordered on Amazon. I think they call it like a MIDI fuse, MIDI. and this will go on that big alternator wire. I think these are, it's kind of just like a normal fuse, but it has holes in there where you can screw it down. And these are pretty big sizes. Like this one is 50 amp. Um, I think they go up to like 120 amp. So it's kind of similar to a fusible link, but a little bit easier to replace. Um, so one of those will go in line on the alternator just for safety so you don't burn your car down. And I think that is all I got for you this week. Wish me luck on the wiring. I think I'm getting close, but if everything goes as planned, next week I'll have the wiring all like completely finished up and be able to put the dashboard back together. But I appreciate you guys watching. Have a great week and good luck on whatever project you're working on.